Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. It's been a great week for gaming so far. We got a couple of trailers for a couple of new games coming out this spring. One of those being the Resident Evil 3 remake, which I have made a video on. You should check it out. And another being the Doom Eternal game, which I plan to make a video about. It's just coming in the coming weeks. Also, we got massive news about the highly anticipated Cyberpunk 2077.
Cyberpunk 2077.
It won't be releasing on the 16th of April, instead the 17th of September, which a lot of people might find pretty frustrating, but also refreshing at the same time. It's pretty mixed reviews there. Speaking of mixed reviews, if you haven't already heard, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is out, and there's like I said, it's been some mixed reviews there. I see a lot of articles and blogs saying the game is wonderful and the story mode, is immersive, is great. And then I see others saying that it's too much filler, and some people are just saying the filler is good and the story is blah. And it's here and there. So I'm still waiting for the bigger reviews to kind of review the game, and then maybe I'll give you another opinion on it. But I think the expectation versus reality video, I think that's probably gonna be my set reviews. Probably I just put that there and that's gonna be my reviews. Maybe. However, that's not what we came here to talk about today. There's been some rumors everywhere lately that suggests the possibility of Ultra Instinct Goku. I've seen many of them. I'm sure you've seen many of them flying around the internet. That Ultra Instinct Goku is going to be arriving on the next season of Dragon Ball Z FighterZ, which is pretty amazing. And to be honest, I did kind of assume that in my last video. I can't be the only one excited for Super Saiyan 4, Goku and Vegeta, and we still got Ultra Instinct. But I think a lot of us did, for that matter. In any case, it has not yet been confirmed there will be a Season 3 of Dragon Ball Z FighterZ. But considering how well the game did itself, and how well it's done over time, and how much people have enjoyed playing the DLCs and paying for them, it's been really good feedback. So I have a good feeling they're going to be, we'll be getting an update soon about the next season or next DLC, if it will or will not release, but I'm pretty sure it will. In the meantime, while we await those ever so pressing matters, I thought I'd speculate on what the next season of characters would consist of. And seeing how the last season we got 6 characters, I have a feeling that we will be getting the same thing, around that same size at least this time around. So with that being said, 6 characters we can expect to see in Dragon Ball Z FighterZ Season 3. Yep, since all the talk has been about Ultra Instinct Goku, Ultra Instinct Goku, Ultra Instinct Goku, I thought I'd bring it in at number 6 since it's rumored, why not put it first? And yes, I know there's already 4 versions of Goku in the game, but why include all those Gokus? Actually, if you include fusions, it's actually 7. But why include all of those Gokus when you're leaving the best one out? I think Goku is a relatively unique character in terms of his moveset, but the fact that the latest season of Dragon Ball Super just ended in the US markets kind of makes him a necessity, to release, mostly because of the profit they'll be making from all the people who have seen Dragon Ball Super. It'll generate a lot more income to put Ultra Instinct out there. So that means it probably confirms we're going to have a Season 3 even more. But, he just looks badass as well. Why wouldn't you include Ultra Instinct Goku? Technically, so far as we know, he is the strongest fighter in Dragon Ball Z. He might even be stronger than Whis. Okay, I don't know about stronger than Whis, but in any case, if you do put him in the game, don't put Mastered Ultra Instinct there and just leave it. Put Ultra Instinct there and allow us to transform into Mastered Ultra Instinct. Give us the best of both worlds. Therefore, it'll be a lot more versatile, and characters will really, a lot of characters will use him if they can use Autonomous Ultra Instinct and Mastered Ultra Instinct. So that'll be a lot better. Now, yes, I know a lot of people won't agree with me with this one, but I think Master Roshi is legendary. He's from the original Dragon Ball, just like Goku. And I feel like they put very little attention on him in the games. Remember the Tournament of Power? They finally did him justice. To be honest, he didn't even lose. Vegeta just told him to retire. Go rest on the couch, Grandpa.
Go get a sensu before you croak. You can leave the rest of this to me.
I think he took out a total of 4 guys in the whole Tournament of Power, which is a lot better than TN, or even if Yamcha was there, a lot better than Yamcha could have done. I personally, though, have little experience of having played little Dragon Ball Z games. I've mostly just played about 2 or 3. Budokai 3, Budokai 1, Dragon Ball Z Infinite World, which is basically the same thing. And I think Sagas was the only 4 Dragon Ball Z games I played. But I think he was in Budokai Tenkaichi, because the roster in that game was huge. I think they should put him in the game. It'll definitely give this game a fresh revamp of, I think, fighting a moveset. As far as fighting styles, I think Master Roshi's would be pretty unique, considering he trained Goku, and he trained Krillin, and some other of the Z fighters as well. And considering he took 4 people out in the Tournament of Power, I think he would be a great addition to the game. Yep, coming in at number 4, we have an interesting one. Dispo. Now, I think this is a really unorthodox choice, because he was one of the better guys in the Tournament of Power, and he's supposedly one of the fastest, if not the fastest character in Dragon Ball Z, which is kind of hard to say considering almost all of them move at the speed of light. So I guess he's going twice the speed of light, or 3 times the speed of light. I mean, even Hit, who could stop time for like partially a second, even a half a second at some point, couldn't even match up against his speed. And Dispo is really strong. He held his own against Goku and, like I said, Hit. And it took Golden Frieza and Mr. Gohan to eliminate him. Yes, that's saying something. Although Dispo has never been in a Dragon Ball Z game, mostly due to the fact that he's only appeared in the latest season of Dragon Ball Super. Well, so did Jiren, and look how Jiren turned out. But in any case, it would still be incredible for fans to experience something we've never got to before, and Dispo would really be fun to utilize in those games. His moveset would be kind of like Yamcha's, I'd assume, because that's kind of how he posed, I think. Coming in at number 3, we have Topo. Yes, I said Topo, not Top. I have no idea where they got Top from. Also, speaking of experiencing something we never got to before, the same can be said for Topo. Now, yes, it may just look like he's a big, muscular alien with a mustache, who most would probably assume would plot like Broly. But just like Broly, Topo has a trick of his own, and probably one of the biggest tricks in the series. Yes, in the Tournament of Power, we saw that Topo is basically on the path to becoming a God of Destruction. He has God of Destruction power. May not be at the level of a God of Destruction, but it's on the verge of it, and it's pretty damn cool to look at. I can tell you right now, a crap load of fans would pay to play him, and so would I. He was a pretty interesting character in the Tournament of Power, and he isn't considered evil. He was merely just fighting for his world, kind of like most people in that tournament. And in that Tournament of Power, he was pushed to certain extents that he thought he never would face, kind of like most people in the Tournament of Power. And he had a choice: either stay weak, let his universe get erased, or do something he's never done before and try to save his universe. I'm glad he went with the latter decision, and in result, we get a badass Eggman with a 6-pack. Coming in at number 2, we have the demon himself, Dabura. Now, Dabura was just a glorified bodyguard throughout most of his screen time in Dragon Ball Z, mostly just serving as a minor roadblock for Vegeta and Goku to overcome in their quest to defeat Buu. Although he put up a good fight with Gohan, it was a pretty interesting fight. He ended up later being eaten by the same person he helped create, Buu, and thus was the story for Dabura. However, you could have easily thought he'd be someone more important, considering how menacing he looks. Probably one of the most unique designs in Dragon Ball Z, in my opinion. He also could have a very interesting moveset varied with punches, sword flashes, and beams. It's kind of the way I remember him. I remember playing him in Budokai 3, The memories of playing him in that game definitely make me want to go back and play him on a revised game like FighterZ, where the colors are so saturated, the dialogue is clean, and the game is just new. So it'll definitely be a great experience, I think, for us Dragon Ball Z fans to experience and something like this. However, I do believe he was in Xenoverse. Xenoverse is not of the category of fighters to me, not in the sense of nostalgia. Xenoverse does not bring any nostalgia to me. Coming in last, we have Omega Shenron. Unfortunately for Omega Shenron, he had the misfortune of appearing in the wildly unpopular and thoroughly derided Dragon Ball GT. The show was, all things considered, a massive flop and was overwritten by Dragon Ball Super in 2016. But the character himself, to say the least, is an incredible one. Sen Shenron is the 7th and the last of the evil Shadow Dragons, and the last villain to appear in Dragon Ball GT. He transforms into Omega Shenron after swallowing all 7 Dragon Balls, and he was supposedly created by Mr. Popo. Yes, the Mr. Popo.
He's gonna die.
Probably.
He dead!
Revived everyone on Namek that was killed at the hands of Frieza and his soldiers. Omega Shenron has appeared in a lot of Dragon Ball Z games, and it wouldn't be a surprise if he does pop up in this one, but I think it'd still be cool to see him on the actual fighters. How the game would make him look, also the colors we could put him in. I'd like to see him, what, pink. That'd be pretty funny. But once again, this is just my opinion. Maybe it didn't meet up to you guys' standards, and you guys probably have something a whole lot better in mind. If you do, I would love to know so in the comments. Comment below on who you think the next season is going to be, or what the season is going to consist of. I'd find your input very interesting, but I still think, you know, Mines is a chance of standing. I think it's a good amount of unorthodox characters, but I can't say it's enough to make them money. So perhaps they won't even include half of those I just put in. But I think Master Roshi stands a chance of actually being in the top. And I think he has a chance of being in the actual 6. I mean, if they put someone like Videl in last season's pack, then there's no way we're not getting Master Roshi in this pack. Thank you. If you guys enjoyed the video, then I would be grateful if you liked and subscribed. It would definitely make my day. And I hope you guys look forward to tomorrow's video. So yeah, until next time.